The weight of silence often envelops us relentlessly, like a dense fog that obscures the clarity of our feelings. In this moment of anguish, when words seem to fail us, it is essential to remember that even in the absence of answers, the divine presence never abandons us. In Psalm 36, verse 5, we find a powerful reminder, "Lord, even the heavens are lifted up to your faithfulness." This truth invites us to trust, even when understanding eludes us. In moments of despair, when the cry of the heart seems to echo in an endless void, it is easy to feel abandoned. The pain of silence can be almost unbearable, but it can also be an opportunity to deepen our faith. Have you ever stopped to think how silence can be a fertile space for spiritual growth? Sometimes it is in silence that we find our true essence, where the layers of pain are stripped away, and we reveal a deep longing for connection and understanding. As we go through this phase of uncertainty, it is essential to remember that God's silence is not a sign of indifference, but an opportunity for us to turn inwards and seek His presence more intensely. You might ask yourself, what is God trying to teach me right now? After all, every tear shed and sigh of pain can become a cry to heaven, even if the silence seems deafening. It is in this search that we can find solace and renewal. Allow yourself to feel this tension, opening your heart to the emotions that emerge in this process. The invitation is to remain open, even when the answer doesn't come immediately. This space of vulnerability can become a powerful testimony of faith. Believe that divine love is present, even when we can't hear it. May this reflection prepare your spirit for the continuation of our meeting, where hope and faith intertwine in a surprising way. Have you ever felt as if the absence of answers was a crushing weight, an echo that reverberated inside you? It's as if every moment of silence becomes a deafening scream, an anguish that echoes endlessly. The pain of not hearing the divine voice can be deeper than the physical pain itself. It's not just the absence of words, but the feeling that, in the midst of your heart's cry, God seems far away, hidden in a veil that you can't penetrate. What do you do when loneliness becomes a constant companion and despair whispers in your ears that you are abandoned? In moments of darkness, the internal struggle intensifies. You find yourself questioning your faith and wondering if there is still hope. Tears accumulate, but the answer remains silent. It's as if every day is a battle where you try to stand firm, but doubt creeps in like a shadow. Have you ever stopped to think about how many times you've felt exhausted, fighting against the tide of your own feelings, while the world around you continues to spin indifferently? The fragility of the soul becomes evident, and the feeling of being trapped in this cycle of waiting and uncertainty is overwhelming. You're not alone on this journey of uncertainty, and it's natural to feel lost. The emotional strain is real, and the struggle between believing and giving up can be a never-ending internal war. Each of us, at some point, has faced the silent pain that comes from this lack of connection, this longing for answers that never seem to arrive. It's a space of vulnerability where faith is tested, and loneliness becomes a burden that seems to have no end. But even in the midst of this despair, there is a whisper that can still be heard, an implicit promise that divine love is present, even when we don't feel it. As you navigate through this pain, allow your feelings to be valid. Recognize the depth of your anguish, for it is a reflection of your search for something greater. Your journey is not in vain, and silence, although heavy, can be the bridge that leads to new understanding. And so in this space of uncertainty, something can begin to reveal itself, preparing the ground for the hope that is to come, a gentle touch that can illuminate even the darkest corners of the soul. God is not oblivious to your suffering. He sees every tear that flows, every moment when you feel abandoned and silent. The word reminds us in Psalm 31, verse 7, "I will be glad and rejoice in your loving kindness, for you have looked on my affliction, you have known the troubles of my soul." This is a powerful promise, a reminder that even when the pain seems unbearable, God is attentive and present. He knows the depth of your anguish and does not ignore it. Sometimes God's silence can lead us to question His presence, but in Isaiah 41, verse 10, we find consolation. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you and uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness." These words resonate like a comforting embrace in the darkness, assuring us that He walks beside us, even in the midst of our internal struggle. It's natural to feel lost and vulnerable, but remember that this fragility can be transformed into a source of strength. When you open yourself up to the truth of the Word, you discover that you are not alone. Divine love is an anchor in times of storm. As you meditate on these verses, you begin to realize that silence is not absence, but an invitation to deep connection. It is in this space of stillness that God can speak to your heart, bringing clarity and hope. God's presence is not measured by circumstances, but by the certainty that He is with you, even when everything seems confusing. This recognition is the first step towards restoration. He doesn't promise that difficulties will disappear, but assures you that by seeking Him you will find support and consolation. As you draw closer to Him, light begins to penetrate the shadows of your pain. We are about to explore a deep and necessary contrast, where the light of the Word meets the darkness of doubt. The journey doesn't end here. On the contrary, it deepens, inviting you to confront the questions that still remain. It is in this sincere search that transformation begins. Not everyone is willing to accept God's answer, and this resistance is a human reality that should not be ignored. When God's voice seems distant, many choose to go their own way, believing that their decisions are more appropriate. However, this resistance brings with it profound consequences, both spiritual and emotional. Ignoring God's direction can lead to an emptiness, a feeling of disorientation that spreads through the soul, as if a shadow were hanging over life. As we move away from the Word, we begin to feel the lack of peace that used to accompany us. Joy turns into frustration, and hope into despair. The connection with the divine becomes tenuous, and loneliness imposes itself even in the midst of crowds. God's silence, which should be a space for reflection and growth, becomes an echo of doubts and insecurities. When we resist His voice, we don't realize that every small concession distances us a little further from His light. This distancing is often subtle, starting with small decisions that seem harmless. Choosing to ignore a piece of advice, not meditating on Scripture or neglecting prayer may seem insignificant, but over time, these small concessions accumulate, creating an invisible barrier between us and our Creator. The feeling of disconnection intensifies, and anguish becomes a constant companion. Have you ever stopped to think about how these small choices have affected your spiritual life? How has the absence of God's voice changed your perception of love and hope? What have you done to cultivate this vital connection? These questions are essential for self-analysis, as they reveal the depth of your search for a true and sincere relationship with the divine. There is still time to reflect on these questions, but it takes courage to face the reality of your estrangement. God's silence can be an invitation to repent and reevaluate, but the decision to turn to Him is yours. This is a moment of spiritual tension where the choice between continuing on the path of resistance or seeking true surrender becomes clear. What will you choose? I sense that right now you may be feeling vulnerable, as if each breath were a reminder of the weight you are carrying. Allow yourself for a moment to recognize this pain that throbs in your heart. There is no need to hide this fragility. It is part of your journey and, in some way, a reflection of your search for something greater. Here, in this safe space, you are invited to stop and listen to what your soul really wants. It's natural to feel resistance when surrendering. The internal struggle between faith and doubt can be overwhelming, and you may wonder if it's worth risking opening your heart again. This battle is real and valid. We often find ourselves in a maze of confused thoughts, where hope seems distant and God's silence becomes a deafening echo. But even in this place of uncertainty, there is a light that shines, a gentle voice that calls you home. Today, I want to invite you to consider giving yourself up. This surrender is not an act of weakness, but a courageous step towards restoration. Imagine for a moment releasing the weight you've been carrying, opening your hands and allowing God to enter your life in a new and transformative way. Let divine love penetrate the cracks of your pain, bringing healing and hope. Surrender is an intimate process, a silent whisper between you and the Creator. It's not about having all the answers, but about trusting that He is by your side, even when His voice seems far away. Right now, feel the urgency of this invitation, but also your freedom of choice. You are the one who decides to open the door, who decides to take that step in faith, even if doubt still persists. I invite you to reflect on what it means for you to give yourself to God. What could it bring to your life? What could you let go of? Allow yourself to feel this decision spring up inside you, like a flower opening up in the sunlight. It takes courage to surrender, but know that you are not alone on this journey. Now take a deep breath and prepare yourself for a moment of recollection, where we will connect more deeply with this surrender. Let this be a space of welcome and openness to what is to come. Allow yourself a moment of silence. Breathe deeply and feel the calm that surrounds your being. At this moment, you are invited to quieten your mind and open your heart, creating a sacred space within yourself. Life can be full of challenges and uncertainties, and the weight of silence can be overwhelming. But remember, this pause is not a void. It is an invitation to reflection and surrender. In this moment, recognize that you are preparing for something deeper than a simple prayer. It's a surrender, an act of trust that goes beyond words. Sometimes the pain and doubt can seem unbearable, but by allowing your heart to open, you place yourself in a position of vulnerability before God, where divine love can enter. Feel this truth resonate in your soul, like a soft whisper that brings comfort and hope. While you allow yourself to feel this fragility, know that you are not alone. The divine presence is there, watching and waiting for you to turn to it. Embrace this moment of stillness, allowing your mind and heart to align. You are in front of something sacred, a space where surrender becomes an act of courage and faith. Calm down. Let silence fill every corner of your soul. Feel how each breath becomes a silent prayer, an intimate connection with the divine. What follows is not just a sequence of words, but an opportunity to open up even more, to allow the light of divine love to illuminate your darkness. As you enter this moment of surrender, remember that every thought, every feeling, every longing you carry is seen and understood. There is no need to rush or worry. You are preparing to connect with something greater, something that transcends the pain and doubts you face. It's a moment of total surrender, where you let go of what you're holding on to and allow God's presence to fill your empty spaces. Let this silence be a shelter for your soul, a safe place where you can take refuge. And so, with an open heart, you approach the next step, where prayer becomes an intimate and transformative dialogue. Lord, I come to you with a heavy heart, opening up like a flower blooming at dawn. In this moment of deep silence, I feel the pain of absence and the anguish of doubt. I surrender to you the control I have tried so hard to maintain, the uncertainties that imprison me, and the fear that prevents me from moving forward. I'm tired of carrying the weight of shame and resistance that keep me from you. I recognize that, even in the midst of this internal storm, my trust in you pulses, even if I can't see the way. It is in weakness that I find the truth that I need you, that my strength is renewed when I surrender to your will. Lord, I don't come to you out of guarantees, but out of faith, out of a deep desire to connect with your presence, even if I don't understand your designs. The surrender I make now is an act of love, and it is in this love that I seek shelter. I surrender, Lord, not because I have all the answers, but because my heart yearns for you. I know that you are listening, that your attention is constant, even when I feel that everything is silent. In this moment of surrender, I allow myself to feel the pain, recognizing that it is part of my journey. Surrender becomes a relief, a step towards the healing I so desire. I surrender to you, Lord, with the certainty that your love embraces me even in the darkest moments. I am open to your presence, seeking a space where I can truly be me, without masks, just a child before the Father. And so, as I leave everything in your hands, I feel that there is more to be revealed, more to be healed, and I am willing to continue on this path with you. Lord, I am still here, on my knees before you, recognizing the depth of my pain and the fragility of my soul. I look inside and see wounds that are still open, places where sadness and anguish have taken hold, and I cry out for you, who knows the depths of my being, to come with your restorative balm. I bring to light my uncertainties, the fears that imprison me and the traumas that still echo in my heart. I know that you are attentive to my cry, that there is nothing I can hide from you, and that is why I give myself to you, even without fully understanding what this healing will be like. God, I ask you to look at the wounds that I hold so dear, the ones that make me hesitate to trust, the ones that make me doubt your love. May I feel your gentle hand caressing each of these sensitive places, where pain mixes with loneliness. I long for your healing presence, for the certainty that, even in the silence, you are with me, moving on my behalf. May every tear I shed be a step towards freedom, and may I feel your peace invading my being, restoring the hope that often fades away. Help me to open my heart, to allow you into the darkest areas, where the pain is most intense, where doubt turns to despair. I trust that your love is able to touch these broken parts of me, bringing light where there is darkness and life where there is death. May I surrender to you the memories that haunt me, the words that hurt, and the moments of loneliness that made me doubt who I am. I cry out for renewal, for a healing touch that goes beyond the physical, that reaches my essence, restoring not only what has been lost, but also bringing new meaning to my journey. Lord, may I feel your presence now, enveloping and comforting, letting me know that I am not alone in this struggle. May your light shine on me, dispelling the shadows of doubt, and may I find the strength to get up, even when I feel tired. I long for that deep connection, where healing is not just a wish but a reality that I can experience in you. Prepare my heart for the next stage of my journey, so that I am ready to receive the strengthening that comes from you, knowing that at every step I am being guided by your loving hand. Lord, in this moment of surrender, I turn to you once again, seeking the strength that only you can provide. I thank you for touching me and allowing me to feel your presence in the midst of my struggles. Now I cry out for a spiritual strength that will keep me firm, that will sustain me through every step of this new day. May this strength be like an anchor in the midst of the storm, holding me in his truth and guiding me along paths of peace. I recognize that the struggle is constant and that the difficulties often seem insurmountable. But Lord, I know that my strength comes from you, who is the source of all strength. May I find courage in every verse, in every promise that you have left. Help me to be constant, not to take my eyes off you, even when the circumstances around me are challenging. May my trust in you become a testimony of your faithfulness and love. I ask you, Father, to grant me the steadfastness necessary to remain in my purpose, even when doubts try to creep into my heart. May I resist the temptations that come my way, and may every choice I make be directed by your will. May I not seek strength in myself, but may I remember that it is in you that I find true support. In every moment of weakness, I cry out for your presence, which is what gives me courage. May I feel your hand guiding me and giving me encouragement, even when my strength seems low. May I have the clarity to know that, even in pain, you are by my side, encouraging me to keep going. And when the day progresses, may I look back and see that each step was taken in dependence on him. May my journey be marked by trust in his direction, and may I discern the voice of the Lord guiding me, showing me the way forward. I am open to listening, Lord, and I ask you to prepare me for the next stage where I can better understand the purpose you have for me. After surrendering to you, Lord, I feel as if the weight I was carrying becomes lighter, as if each breath connects me more to your presence. It is in this place of serenity, where restlessness no longer screams so loudly, that I now come to seek your direction. The silence that once brought me anguish now invites me to listen, to wait with an open heart, ready to discern your voice. Lord, as I go deeper into this moment of stillness, I cry out for wisdom. I'm not just looking for quick answers or clear paths, but a deep understanding that goes beyond my human limitations. I want to see with your eyes, understand with your heart, and feel your will pulsating in every decision I need to make. May I be able to discern the difference between my will and yours, and even in the face of uncertainty, choose what pleases you. In you, I find the certainty that every step taken under your guidance is a safe step. Even if the answer doesn't come at the speed I desire, I trust that your wisdom is perfect and that every time has its purpose. May I be patient in waiting, understanding that your direction can reveal itself in subtle ways through circumstances, people, or even small inspirations that spring up within me. I want to be attentive, Lord, so as not to miss every sign that guides me amidst the multitude of voices that surround me. Help me to immerse myself in the Scriptures, which are a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. May each verse become an echo of your will, a confirmation of what my spirit longs for. Just as it is written in James, that if I need wisdom, I should only ask you who generously grants it to all. It is this wisdom that I seek now, Lord. As I draw closer to you, I feel my prayer changing. The stillness that envelops me turns into a cry of confidence, a declaration that I will stand firm on your word. I am prepared to proclaim your truth, to bear witness to your faithfulness in my life. May my soul not only listen, but also declare with faith the promises that have been given to me. May I be an instrument of your peace and a bearer of your light, even as I await your direction. With every beat of my heart, I thank you, Lord, for being with me, for guiding my steps even when I don't see the way. May trust in you be the anchor of my life as I prepare for what is to come. Lord, as I place myself in your presence, I realize that the silence that sometimes envelops me is an invitation to deep reflection and surrender. I recognize that even in the absence of visible answers, you are at work in my heart. I proclaim that trust in you is the anchor that stabilizes my soul. I am your child, created for a divine purpose, and I know that every step I take under your direction is safe. I declare that my identity is firmed in you, that I am loved, valued, and guided by your powerful hand. At this moment, I affirm that the wisdom I cry out for is manifested in my understanding. You are the source of all knowledge and insight, and I am open to receiving your guidance, even when uncertainties arise. I thank you for your promise that, as I seek you with all my heart, I will find you. Thus I proclaim that my search for you is not in vain. I believe that you are shaping my character and strengthening my faith, even in the most intense storms. I confess that patience is a virtue I want to cultivate in my life. I learn to wait on you, knowing that your answer can come in subtle and unexpected ways. I pledge to remain steadfast, even when waiting seems difficult. I declare that by abiding in your word, I am nourished and strengthened, and my decisions are guided by your teachings. Your faithfulness is the light that illuminates my path, and I rejoice in knowing that you never abandon me. Today, I place myself as an instrument of peace and light in this world. May my actions and words reflect your grace and love. I am a channel of your presence, and wherever I go, may I bring hope and encouragement. I recognize that in the midst of struggles, your presence is essential. I receive the strength that comes from you, and with gratitude, I approach you in prayer, believing that you are always by my side. Lord, I thank you for all that you have already done in my life, and for all that you will continue to do. May my life be a testimony to your faithfulness and unconditional love. I am prepared for what is to come with a grateful and expectant heart. Lord, I come before you with a heart full of gratitude. Thank you for extending your loving hand over me, even in those moments of silence that hurt so much. Today, I recognize that this silence is an invitation to trust you more, to surrender my anxieties, and to seek your purpose in my life. May I always remember that every step under your guidance is safe, and that even in uncertainties, you are the source of wisdom and discernment that illuminates my path. I pray to you, O God, that you will continue to guide me. May I be an instrument of peace and light, reflecting your grace and love. May the prayer I raise to you this morning be a channel of gratitude and strength, and may I feel your presence by my side in every challenge I encounter. Today, I give myself to you with a renewed heart, ready to live the day ahead of me, facing each struggle with courage and faith. May the certainty of your faithfulness accompany me, and may I bear witness to your goodness in the little and big things. I am prepared for whatever comes, knowing that you are with me, supporting me, and listening to every cry of my heart. May I live in peace, knowing that even in the silence your voice resounds within me, calling me and strengthening me. If this prayer spoke to you, I invite you to share it with someone who also needs peace and comfort. Let us know in the comments what God has ministered to your heart, and may we celebrate His faithfulness together. Enjoy this moment so that the word can reach other thirsty hearts. Sign up to continue this journey of prayer, walking together in the light of the Lord. May your morning be blessed and full of hope. Go in peace knowing that God walks beside you. Amen.